Yeah. Check this out, y'all. Stay Motivated Podcast, Season 4. It's your host, your homie, Terry, a.k.a. Tobin Frost, a.k.a. Young Denzel Washington, a.k.a. Mr. Pop That Champagne for my pain. Hey, listen. I got a legend superstar in the building today. Miss Tamara, please introduce yourself and tell the people where to find you at on social media.
Well, hello, everybody. I am Dr. Tamara Davis-Jack. I can be found on Instagram and Facebook under Tamara Davis-Jack or Positivity Has a Purpose. I am so happy to be here. And you gave all your AKAs, so I'm going to give a couple of AKAs.
Okay,
too.
Let's go.
So I'm also known as the Iron Butterfly. I'm known as an oratorical assassin because I'm telling you right now, I will eat you up with these words. So I am excited to be here.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We lit already. We lit. So, just tell the people, that's what we're going to start with. Where you from? I know where you from. Let the people know where you from.
All right, everybody. I am a PA girl. Go Eagles.
Uh-oh.
Go Eagles.
Here we go.
I know I'm sitting here with the top fan of the Ravens, but go Eagles. I am a PA chick. I tell people I literally come from the bricks. I come from the hood. I come from every project in my city.
Uh-oh.
And I am, when I tell you, so super excited to be able to say that. Some people be ashamed to say they're from the projects.
Right.
But those concrete walkways made me. It showed me, it gave me fortitude. It showed me how much I can endure, how much I can go through, how I could be the things that I couldn't see. And I saw a lot of triumph in them projects, too. So I didn't go sleep on it.
I heard that. So what made you move down here? Opportunity?
Okay. So I went to school for biochemistry and forensic science.
Ooh.
Yes, I actually have a PhD in biochemistry, by the way. Give it up to all my black biochemists.
Yes.
So
yes.
I came here to because I heard that Charlotte was going to have its first forensic lab. I actually applied with CMPD to work at that lab. Got a tentative offer, moved down here after I graduated from college. And then about 6 months after I got here, they had all of us on hold and then decided they didn't have the funding.
What?
So I had no job.
Oh, wow.
Sis had no job. Okay. I had been coming to Charlotte in the summers when I was a kid, back when there was Earl Village and Piedmont Court. Give it up to Hidden Valley. I used to always hang out there as well. So good people. And I figured if there was any place I ever wanted to call my home and I really wanted to grow my brand and my business, it was going to be the Queen City. Why not?
That's what I'm talking about. So let's talk about your brand. So you're many things. Author, public speaker.
Yes.
You're impactful, leader, teacher. So where did the passion come for public speaking? And then did you have to learn how to public speak? Did you have to take courses or was it just a natural thing?
You know what? I think I always was this thing. Now, it's funny. If you go back and you ask my mother and my sisters, they'll tell you I'm the quiet one of the family.
Uh-oh.
I'm the one who always stands in the back. I'm the one who's always a mediator. When something kicks off at the cookout and, your family, they be drinking a little too much, and I'll be like, okay, hold on, baby. Let's go to the corner over here. Like, I'm always that person. I always like to play the back. But I always knew that there was a mighty word in my spirit. I knew there was something different about me. Not to say they weren't amazing, but I knew that God gave me something that he didn't give everybody else in the hood as I was looking around. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really know public speaking was my thing. I really thought law enforcement was going to be my thing. I thought I grew up wanting to be a Supreme Court justice, by the way, until I realized how many steps you had to take to get to it. So
I can only imagine.
I'm not doing all that.
Nah.
So then I was like, okay, I'm going to really focus on law enforcement. But I went to college. Actually, I want to give it up to my colleges real quick. I went to a community college in the beginning. I went to Harrisburg Area Community College, and there's no harm in going to a community college.
No, not at all.
There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, they're probably harder than your big name colleges. I'm not going to lie. They're preparing you. Mm-hmm. So at the Harrisburg Area Community College, I graduated from there. I got a full ride to Penn State University.
Penn State University.
Huh? So,
okay.
We are.
Hey.
Okay. So then I went to Drexel University, and I wrapped it up, and I went to Vanderbilt University. So I worked my way up. And it wasn't until I was at Harrisburg Area Community College I took a speech course.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I dabbled in speaking when I was in high school. There was a speech teacher, and she would always say, Tamara, you are just so gifted. You have this gift of speech. And I was still kind of shy at that point, really didn't see the impact of my words. When I got to college and we had a persuasive speech we had to do. And I gave my persuasive speech, and my professor at the time asked 3 other professors to come in. She asked me to redo it, and I thought it was because I did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't give me any feedback. She said, I need you to do it again. She asked 3 professors to come in, and they were speaking professors from area colleges. And then they were like, she's like, I think I'm gonna need you to do this one more time. I just need to make sure this is right. And she asked me to come into a gallery, and there were about 150 students in there. And she had handed out surveys, asked people how this persuasive speech was. And she said, Tamara, I called you back 3 times because I wanted to let you know that was one of the best speeches I've ever heard from a student.
Oh, that's why she did it.
Yes. So she then began to help me and coach me and help with my cadence and my words and allowing me to know that I could, just what I was enough for speaking. So I'll tell anybody, if you're thinking about being a public speaker, don't think you got to do these big grandiose courses. If you have the availability to do it, then do it. But you have everything you need inside of you.
Right.
That's what I'll tell anybody.
Wow. To do it 3 times?
3 times.
And then you had no idea why. You were just like, dang, I gotta.
But that's the thing. I think sometimes in life, you really have to operate out of expectation. I knew that these 3 times I was doing it, there was a reason why she was asking me. I didn't have to ask why. I just knew it's what she wanted, and I knew every time I had to kill it.
Right.
I didn't even know what was going on. I just like, okay, maybe she wants to make sure I'm not plagiarizing. So, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they do got plagiarism little rules and stuff in college.
I was thinking, oh, shoot, she must have called the ethics committee in here. I'm thinking, of course, see, here I am. I talk about positive as a purpose, which is the brand. I was literally still thinking negative in some ways. I was thinking, oh, my goodness, she probably thought I plagiarized because I still had those seeds of doubt in my head of whether I was good enough or not.
Right.
And she was not saying anything. So I said, oh, shoot, those 3 professors must have been the ethics committee. And then whenever you're up for an ethics violation, they always do bring like a panel of people. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to have these students look at it and see if they heard it before or something. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking like, oh my God, I'm kicked out. You know what I mean? I am kicked out. I want academic probation. I never thought it would lead to who I am today.
Right.
Never thought it.
You still keep in contact with her?
Absolutely. I speak to her once a week.
That's cool.
She's now retired, and she continues to say, Tamara, you gave one. She said, and she actually uses my speeches as case studies in her classes.
Oh, that's lit right there.
It's really neat.
That's pretty cool.
Really neat.
So let me ask you this. What is your biggest challenge, if you have any challenge? What's the biggest challenge of being a public speaker?
I think it's what everybody has a challenge with sometimes. I think my biggest challenge sometimes is the people that you love around you not believing in the thing that you do. I tell people, I said, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, what's that movie? I can't think of it right now, but it's when the man put the balloons on his house with the kid. Oh man, I can't think of it right now, but it's a Disney movie. It's a Pixar movie. And this man his wife passed away, and there's a little cartoon, Up. That's what it is, Up. And I tell people, I look at my life like Up. I feel like that God has put balloons on me. He's put like a 500 balloons on me and allows me to soar way above everybody else. And that's not saying people are below me or I'm above anybody else. It just means my thinking is very, very accelerated. My thinking is very different. And every time I tell people, every time a family member, my sisters, my mom, anybody like that says anything negative to me about what I'm trying to do, what I am going to do, let's correct that. What I am going to do, words are power. Okay, remember that. So about what I am going to do, especially close friends or the ones that were close to me at the time, I feel like there was like a little pop of a balloon. And I would go like a little bit lower. And I'll be like, oh my goodness, I'm getting lower. Ooh, this doesn't feel too good. Pop, oh my goodness, this doesn't feel too good. And I'm thinking, I tell people, I use a balloon analogy because you only are able to see at the depth of your eye length, right?
Right.
So when you're on the ground, all you see is what's in front of you. But I feel like God put me so high because he wanted me to see everything. He wanted me to see the width and the depth of the world so I wouldn't be scared to attack any of it.
Right.
So that's the part I think that sometimes is hard, is having those people around you not believing you and not be able to see the thing that you can see. And you start to doubt yourself a little bit. You're like, am I crazy?
Yeah. And
am I the only one that can see this?
That's funny you say that because one of the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs have that I've had on the podcast before is, and I can shout out my boy Sonny, He says,
Hey, Sonny.
yeah, OG Sonny. He said, once you realize the people around you not gonna support you the way you want, he said that's when you can get to that meal ticket. He said you gotta get that out your head. The people that you don't know gonna make you millionaires.
OG Sonny, first of all, that was church. This is what I'll say is that you will realize that your capabilities were in you all the time. That the people that you thought you needed to support you are not what you needed at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you will run a little bit differently when you have I'm talking about a surefire belief in just what you're doing.
Right.
I say all the time, I'm going to speak in stadiums all over the world. This is the thing. I am a mother of 2 daughters. First of all, I got to shout out my girls.
Shout them out.
My thing 1 and my thing 2, I called them J squared. They were so good, I did it twice. So my Joy and my Jaya, Joy I named her Joy because when the first time I saw her, I literally thought, that's the first feeling I had. And I heard joyful, joyful in my head. She was the most precious thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I know all babies are beautiful, but my baby was especially beautiful. I feel like this God just smiled upon me when he gave me her. Mm-hmm. And my daughter, Jaya, her name means always winning.
Okay.
Because she always will.
That's win.
Always will. So, I literally say to myself now, as long as I have my thing 1 and my thing 2, my J squared, I can take on the whole world. The whole world. And I think you just have to believe in yourself. And I know, Cat Williams said something one time. He said, self-esteem is esteem for yourself. And people be like, what do you mean it's esteem for yourself? That sounds mean. No, it is. You have to bet on you every single day. You got to get up. I got up this morning and I said, win, lose, or draw, I'm closer to that stadium than I was yesterday.
Yep. And that's a good perspective to have. Because I even tell people, especially like younger people, when you wake up, never wake up with a loser's mentality. Like don't wake up like, I don't know how many people wake up to not give 100%. Some people wake up like, man.
Some people wake up and say, we're going to get through today. Some people have a 15-minute mentality, and that's okay if that's what it takes for you to cope. Because sometimes you may be going through some things, you're just like, look, all I got is 5 seconds in me right now. I got to go second by second, millisecond by millisecond. I ain't even mad at you. Just keep on moving. Mm-hmm. But stay positive, though. Right. Stay positive, even if everything around you is negative. I can tell anybody, I did not come from a positive household. My mother's birthday was yesterday, and I love my mother. I love my mother. She did the very best that she could, but I did not come from a positive household. Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of things around me that would have knocked anybody off course. I endured a lot in my lifetime. It's no secret. I talk about it a lot. It took a long time for me to tell my truth to people too, because when you're the queen of positivity, as people call me here in Charlotte, you think you have to be perfect. You think you can't share your story. You have this shame around you. Right. When you have to tell your real story. But I tell people, I said I was a victim of molestation. I was a victim of rape. I was a victim of domestic violence. I had a spouse who was very, very abusive, and this is the thing. My self-worth did not decrease because of these people's actions. Mm-hmm. I knew that there was something special about me. One thing I will tell you is don't nobody dig in the trash for something that ain't worth nothing.
We got to make sure we get that clip. If we don't get any other clip, that's getting clipped. That's getting cropped out.
Think about it. Burglars don't come into your house to steal junk. They don't. They know the worth. So the problem is that I think sometimes when things happen to us, we think that our value is decreased by the action. You have to, sometimes I tell people to do an exercise sometimes, especially when you've been through a lot of things. You have to just sit. I don't care if you're in your closet, in your room, cut everything off, all music, everything. Put yourself completely in the dark. And you visualize the things that have happened to you and put them in a pack that's on your back or on your chest if you're from up north and you know you ain't trying to get robbed. Okay, you ain't carried on the front. So the thing is, I tell people, put it in a pack, all the things you've been through, and then you visualize the people in front of you. Visualize it as if it's like, what's it called? UV-20 or whatever they call it. Yeah. The balloon pop. Yeah. Make it, look at it like a balloon pop and line those people up that caused you all this angst that you put in that pack. And I want you to visualize going to all these people and handing it back to them. Hand it back to them. Because 90% of the things we carry in our lifetime had nothing to do with us. I was a young kid when I was molested. It had nothing to do with me. I was not being fast. I was not being grown. I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I handed it back to this man. And I moved on with my life.
Right.
Because the fact remains is that I'm not junk. And good things, bad things do happen to good people every day.
Yeah.
Just because you're a good person, I mean, nothing bad will happen to you. But at the end of the day, I'll tell anybody, who are you to think that you won't be tested? If you want a testimony, you're going to have a test.
Right.
If you ever want to drink good, you got to know what it's like to be thirsty.
Mm.
You got to know. It's those deficits. It's those desert times in your life where you find the most courage, where you find out who you really are. And I tell anybody, those formative years when I felt not so great, there was always something in me that reminded me, it's not about now, it's about next. And I always had that thought in my head. Even I remember being like 14 years old thinking, it's not about now, it's about next.
That's a good mindset to have, especially at a young age.
Who knew that I would come out of all of that?
Right.
I don't take any of it back. I don't take any of my history back. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, I will go through all that again tomorrow. No, I mean, nobody chooses that.
Right, nobody.
But
right.
But I'm not going to sit here and say that I regret any of it.
Right.
It was very formative. It allowed me now to have a different empathy, a different love, a different kind of respect for people who are going through a million other things. Because chances are, the things you faced, I faced them too.
And it's key that you said that. Because I go by this quote I heard my cousin say a long time ago. He was like, we all have problems. We just got different problems. Everybody got problems.
Everybody got one.
We just got different problems.
You know, I think that's what I see sometimes on social media, too, is there's a lot of people are hurting on social media.
Yeah.
A whole lot of people are hurting, and they just don't know where the help is.
Right.
They think it's in those long posts that they put out there, and in all honesty, all those posts are really doing is giving people more ammunition to hate on you.
Yeah.
Those people are not trying to help you.
Yeah.
They're just talking about
They
you.
want to see you beat down.
You know, to be honest, the real twist of it is most people want to see us fail.
Mm.
I mean, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I have people right now who are probably, I could probably call out some names if I wanted to be messy, but who really want to see me fail. They want to see me fail because they want it, because they want me to be in the same situation they're in, because they can't reach this precipice that I've reached. They want me to feel like I can't either. Your reality is not mine.
Right.
Your belief is not mine. And I always said, I was talking to my daughters last night, and I said, if I don't get to arenas, I could say I fought like hell to get there. And that in itself is
a
something.
W. That's a W.
That's a win. And I said, you have to trust the timing of your life too, because I think we have this thought process that by a certain age, you're going to do certain things.
Yep.
You're going to be certain things. You're going to go certain places. And when it doesn't happen, you're let down. And now you're like, well, I'm not trying nothing else because that didn't work. And I tell people, you have to know that your win, your WIN is coming. But don't be so focused on the WHEN.
Mm-hmm.
So your win is coming. Don't be so focused on when. Just focus on the steps that you have to take every single day to solidify your position. I am the queen of positivity, period. There's a whole lot of people out here talking about positivity, right? You may have the Kool-Aid, but you definitely don't have my flavor. That's just what it is.
I heard that.
That's just what it is.
You ain't all that in a bag of chips, what they used to say back in the day.
No, I mean, really. I mean, to be transparent, I know some amazing people. There's a young lady I met, and her name is Nikki. And when I say she is a dynamic coach, she is a dynamic coach. And I was sitting in a room with her. And sometimes when you get coaches and you get public speakers in a room, sometimes they're like, they be looking at each other like, what you got? What you doing?
Yeah.
When I say I had the most admiration for this young lady, because first of all, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not a coach, okay? I am a speaker, okay? I'm gonna speak to you in a group environment. I'm gonna speak to you. I have my one-offs. I have people who I mentor right now. I have probably about 80 mentees. That I have in a month. I talk to 80 different people who I'm really coaching and getting to a certain place.
Wait. You just said you not a coach. But you coaching 80 people?
This is the thing, though. I think that's different. That's heart work for me.
Nah, you are a public speaker and a coach. We speaking it to existence.
Thank you.
And if we got to pay for any coach fees, I need 15%. All right, let's keep it going.
He said, rub me that shmoney. So
I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing.
It's funny. I sit there and I said to myself, I was like, the name coach is so esteemed to me because you are really in control of how people's lives can go from where they are at. And I was always like, I'm a trainer. I want to be able to, once you go to that coach and you have those life steps already mapped out, and it's funny, that is what I'm doing, and once you have those life steps mapped out and you have a surety in your steps, I then put a pack on your back and send you flying.
Right.
I make you believe that you can build a spaceship tomorrow. Because I think it's all about training your brain just to do something different. That's why I tell people, my brand is positivity as a purpose. And I always say, protect your heart, protect your peace. Because protecting your heart and protecting your peace, and by the way, that is branded. Feel free to use it, but run me my check. But that is branded and trademarked. It is legal. Shout out to Dorna Jenkins, who is my attorney. Also the attorney of Dr. J and Tasha Cobb. She's no joke.
Okay, now. Let's run it.
I've got some amazing people who have believed in me enough to sow into my brand. And I tell people, at the end of the day, you have to have an unshakable kind of faith now in the world. You just do.
Right.
Especially in these times.
Yeah, we're in some wild times.
Do you know that deli meat is $13 a pound?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, go ahead and get some sliced turkey or some bologna. Go ahead. I want to see what happens when you go to the checkout. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful. Like, you might as well go into Jimmy John's right now and get a sandwich because you cannot buy deli meat on your own. It's expensive. But I say all of that to say that the price of everything is high.
Right. Definitely.
So think about these people who were barely making it before, and you have this dream in your heart, and you're thinking to yourself, all I do is work, work, work. You on your Rihanna. Work, 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 work.
Right.
That's all you do. You work and you pay bills, work and pay bills. How can I get to this next space when that's all I do? Change your thought process. Because when you're working, I tell anybody, that's seed money. There is nothing wrong with having a job and having a dream at the same time. There's nothing wrong with that. How are you going to fund your dream if you don't make any money?
Right.
I work a 9-to-5 job. I am a corporate trainer. I love training. And at the end of the day, that has made me sharper. And it's made me more comfortable too because I can actually eat. You know what I mean?
I heard that.
I mean, I don't have to book to eat. I don't want to be a slave to the stage either.
Right.
I want to speak where I want to speak, when I want to speak. At the end of the day, I don't want to speak for a living. I want to live to speak.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be able to say, okay, I'm going to speak 8 or 9 times a year. It's exclusive. You better get your ticket because you will not be seeing me every day.
Right.
And I want that to sustain my lifestyle. So I think it's just different. I think that we have to just really change how we see the world despite what's around us. Your vantage point can change dramatically.
For sure. So let me ask you this. What public speakers inspires you, or who do you admire? Like a Maya Angelou or Michelle Obama, or
I mean, you just gave the grades.
you
just gave the grades. I mean,
Denzel Washington. That's my guy.
When I say he drops,
oh, that's my dog, man.
He opens up his mouth and stuff just come out, and I don't think he doesn't even realize what he's doing.
He don't even know what he be saying.
But he's just so powerful, so profound.
Yeah, it'd be crazy when I hear him talk. It could be a 10-second clip. I'm like, I'm using that tomorrow. I'm like,
what? Why? How he just changed my life in 5 seconds? But, speakers who I absolutely adore. Of course, you have you have North Carolina's own Tabitha Brown.
Miss Tabitha Brown.
I think she is profound. The fact that she came into the world and she showed people that her and her afro, her and her natural hair and her vegan food, she was going to move how she moved. Her husband was in law enforcement. She retired her husband. She showed people not only can she be her authentic self, but she showed us what Black love looks like. And she didn't say to her and her husband were perfect. She didn't say her family was perfect.
Right.
She said, this is me, this is my brand, it's what I got for you, take it or you leave it. And I love that. There's a gentleman right here in Charlotte, his name is Ryan. Ryan, I want to say his last name is Jor-El, and I'm probably getting this wrong. But it's funny too, when speakers think that other speakers don't admire other speakers. And Ryan had and maybe he may still have it, he had a fatherhood group and a movement. And I just thought he was so profound for what he did for Black men. Because I have a love for black men. I tell people, yes, black women, we go through things. And I know we're the savior of the human race. We always are. We always run in and we have all the answers. But there's something profound about being a black man in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
About how to stand up. And you have all of these thought processes. And I'm going to get back to the speakers. But I just have to give this caveat. Because the fact remains that I think that people forget that black men are people too. They have feelings too. They have desires and wants too.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, and we're like, okay, who's bringing, what you bringing to the table? And, oh, I want, you may be working as a garbage man, but I want this hair and I want these nails and I want this and I want that. And that man wants to give it to you, but baby, he don't have it.
Right.
He's doing the best with what he got. And I think we tend to look at the internet and we think that people have to do these grand gestures. When did Cheesecake Factory get to be too much, get to be too little?
Ooh, child.
And let's get to it.
Man.
Have y'all had that cheesecake? Do y'all know what the cheesecake costs?
Yeah, it seemed like, just from my perspective, it seemed like it's a war between the two right now, between black men and black women. I won't say as a whole, but I guess the social media thing, it's crazy. I can't even put my finger on it. Like outside is out of control right now.
I believe that this was part of the plan. Now I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist for 15 seconds. Understand, if you don't get us to join forces, if you don't get us to see each other in our natural light, you could extinguish us very quickly.
Right.
I think it's part of the plan. I tell anybody, I said, I have brown babies by brown men. Because that's what I love.
Right.
I will always sow into my people. I don't care what it looks like or what it sounds like. I don't care who doesn't believe in it. I believe in us. I believe we can do better. We can be better.
Absolutely.
I think that if we carry more love in our heart and less criticism and stop listening to people on social media, y'all, I understand. Y'all think people are experts, but let's be serious. So many people are puddle deep and act like they are ocean. They're not. They're not. Everything's not profound. I mean, first y'all was on low vibration plates. I'm gonna eat me a low vibration plate, especially on Thanksgiving. You call it what you want to call it.
Yeah.
I vibrate at a different level, but I'm gonna be full and I'm gonna eat.
Right.
Who said that we couldn't eat food no more? And I know who said it, and I ain't gonna call her out.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, yeah, because she's gonna try to come for me, and I ain't the one. I'm not one of them. But at the end of the day, I tell people, just be careful what you're taking in on social media too, because it'll make you think that there's a war amongst us, and there's not. I think that there are good men out here. There are good women out here, and it's funny. I've entered the dating pool, and all my friends were telling me, "Girl, there is piss in the dating pool." I said, "Well, make sure you're not the piss." You know what I mean? Like, your job is to make sure you're not the piss. Like, I have not had that experience, to be honest. I've had some extraordinary experiences. Now, and not everybody was for me. Right. I think the goal now is don't choose what you don't want. Don't tolerate what's not for you.
Right.
And I think we'll all get along better. There are some extraordinary men that I've met, and I probably should start a little roster and tell these women, hey, look, these are good men, y'all. They just not for me and my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get up a little early in the morning and be with me, just to be honest, because I'm going for arenas. Like, you have to be ready to share me with the world. You got to be ready for the fast life, to do wonderful things. We're going to travel the world. We're going to be looking good, eating good, laughing good. But you got to be ready for that. That's not something an average person is ready for.
Right.
And I have met some extraordinary men who I feel like are ready for relationships and ready to love somebody in a very committed way. But I think, too, our standards sometimes are a little skewed. We have to really stop looking at social media again to tell us who we should be and how we should move and what we should do.
Yeah.
I get my own nails done. I get my own hair done. I pay my own bills. So therefore, anyone who comes into my life now, if they so choose to do something for me, that's wonderful, but I can do it myself anyway. So let's stop with that. What do you bring to the table? Let's just pull a seat up and invite somebody to sit down.
Yeah, and I remember a couple months ago, that was the thing. What do you bring to a table? And then it changed to what did your mama bring? What did your mama bring to the table for your dad? And I was like, we not talking about mom. Like, yeah, we're going too far now.
First of all, don't talk about my mama.
Yeah, we're going too far.
Shout out to Bonnie, whose birthday was yesterday. Yeah. Do not talk about my mother, because she did the best that she could. And I tell people, I've had a tragic story, but my mother did the very best she could with what she had. Yeah. Like, you have to understand, it was a different time for our grandparents. It was a different time for our parents.
Yeah.
So don't talk about somebody's mother. My mother raised me to be better than what she was, and she did.
Yeah.
She did her job. She may have faltered at time, but understand, I'm not a perfect parent either. There is no manual on how to be a perfect parent. The
Right.
situation that I got into when I was young and I was in a bad situation with the molestations because my mother trusted somebody.
Right.
She trusted somebody and she wanted to love somebody and that person was the wrong person. And we have all loved somebody who wasn't right. Now, they might have went that far with us.
But
But how was she to know that?
right.
He had a tattoo on his forehead.
Right.
So you have to understand, too, I tell people, so to ask somebody what their mother brings to the table is so disrespectful. Number one, respect your elders. And then honor your mother and your father. Your days shall be long. I'm
Yeah.
not going to get up here and talk the Bible because, I mean, I know a little bit about the Bible. I sat in a couple pews growing up. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit up here and say I know everything.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, come on, y'all.
Yeah,
Do better.
I think that trend kind of went down, but
It needed
I mean,
to.
let me be clear. Nobody asked me that because I'm not in a situation for somebody to ask me what my mom brought to the table, because that'll be a bad day. For
Real
them.
bad day. Because first of all, I wrote my mom's whole resume down
Yeah,
to you.
yeah,
'Cause my mother, she's
Yeah, we don't do that.
that's the brown bombshell.
Yeah.
A lot of our parents, too, were the first to do certain things, same as our grandparents. Understand, I am 3 generations, well, actually 3 generations, away from sharecropping. My grandparents were sharecroppers' kids, meaning their parents were, their grandparents were slaves.
Yeah, and
People tend to forget that. Like, we're not that far away.
people got to realize, like, especially with the climate that we're in now, this ain't the 60s and 70s no more.
It's not.
So everything's different.
Everything is different.
Yeah.
People's temperaments are different. Our expectations are different. Our thought processes are different. Women have different educations now that they were allowed and afforded back then.
Yeah.
And at the same time, though, I believe we all have the ability, the propensity for greatness, but do you want it?
Right. And it's, to me, women of color, I won't even say women, period. Y'all are doing y'all thing right now.
Well,
like,
thank you.
seriously.
We are trying.
Just Charlotte alone, I'm like, wow.
I know some real bosses in Charlotte who are women, and I'm gonna double down and say black women.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not a lot of people out here in the world rooting for black women. Now they'll want to put the burden of the world on us now. Think about back in the day, we were the one feeding everybody's babies. We were
Yeah.
the one cleaning their houses.
Yeah.
So people's thought process in the world now is like, you should know your place. My place is wherever I say my place is.
That part.
And I think that's the difference now. Is I think that black women are standing up in a different way and saying, wait a minute, yeah, we did cook and clean for you. Yeah, we did do this, but we can also be in boardrooms. We can also run companies. We can also fill stadiums all over the world. And I think that as we empower each other and we lift each other up, I think the tide is going to turn.
Right.
I think that's what it's about.
Well, I want to show some of your merch
Yes.
to the folks. Can we see it? We can see that. We can see that. Did you want to hit on any of these?
Yes. So the first, okay, put the first one back
My
up
bad.
first.
Look, I'm doing too much.
As they say, hype John. So we say that in Philly, hype John. That is my first book. It's Manifest the Support That You Deserve. And to be honest, I wrote that book because so many people say they didn't have support. And I really wanted to show people that all the support you need, right now you have in your network. I think people think they have this thought process, they need something that they don't have.
Right.
Everything you need, you already have. You just have to recognize it. And if you don't have it, it's time to change your environment. I left all my family and friends behind in PA to come to Charlotte because I wanted something different.
Right.
And so you got to be a little bit courageous, and you got to really have this thought process that win, lose, or draw. I know where Pennsylvania is. Pennsylvania ain't moving nowhere.
All right.
I can go back if I want to.
You know how to get there.
I know how to get there. It's 8 hours straight. I know how to get there. But at the end of the day, what about the rest of this world? What about this crazy world? What other space and places can I feel?
Right.
And what if this move was the catalyst that took me the rest of the way? What if?
Right.
So my latest work, which nobody has seen yet, everybody's going to see it today.
Oh yeah.
Is my affirmation journal, because I believe that you can't. I mean, your thoughts are everything. I'm trying to twist it the wrong way. Oh, there we go. It's an affirmation journal. This affirmation journal is the only thing you're ever going to need to help you get to where you need to be. There is a post quiz. There is an after quiz. I actually give prizes out on my website if people submit their quiz results, because you're going to improve your thinking once you get done with this.
Okay.
It's just what it is. Once you do something every day, it's almost like exercise. If you're repetitive and you're consistent and you do something every day, your body's going to start to show it. If you think positive every day, even for 5 minutes, your mind is going to start to recognize it and do it. Another first, I'm going to show this one time here. You guys, nobody's ever seen this before. It's my brainchild. I call this the prescription. The prescription. Mental illness and anxiety, depression, especially this time of year, is a big thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You go to the doctor, tell them, I've been feeling a little bit down. They give you this little quiz, right? And the first thing they want to do is they want to give you Prozac. They want to give you something. They want to give you something to dull your senses, right? I've got the last prescription you're ever going to need. Inside of each of these pills, there's 30 pills in here for 30 days. Inside of each of these capsules is an affirmation. You open it, you take your pill for the day, you pop it open, and inside is an affirmation. Every single day. And actually, you can get refills if you like. There's going to be a refill. There's a prescription refill.
Refill fee.
A refill fee. And you'll get your new affirmations. And so if you have a friend, family, or yourself that's really feeling down and know you just need something every morning, I tell people every morning, take your pill. It's the last pill you'll ever need.
Yeah, I like
last
that.
pill you'll ever need. I also have candles that I have made myself. I'm a biochemist. So I was thinking, what are some things that are tangible, things that people can use on an everyday basis that won't make them feel like they're so stressed out? Okay, maybe you're not ready for a journal, or you're not ready to read a book, because people act like now they can't read. I don't know why. They always say
you gotta read.
You gotta read. Readers are leaders. I don't care if it's in audiobooks, that's cute, but I'm old school. So this first candle is called the Level Up. This candle is for mood, a mood candle. And when I tell you, for those who have, all of you who are Positive Purpose followers, please go down in the comments, let people know about these candles, y'all. These candles are no joke. Formulated by me and my girls, Thing 1 and Thing 2. They poured these candles with love.
That's cool.
And then, like I said, we have the Level Up. I bought 2 of the same candle, but there's a Level Up. There's 0 Fs, because sometimes you just don't.
Right.
Sometimes you ain't got no F's left to give. I ain't gonna say the big word. I ain't gonna say it. But
I heard that.
This is for stress relief, because sometimes you do have 0 F's left. You have 0 F's. Light your candle and lay it down. Lay your burdens down. Get yourself something to drink. Possibly, maybe in a Positive Purpose mug.
Let's keep it going.
And give 0 F's, okay?
Right.
Because sometimes that's what it's like. And my thing is, the other one's called Vibe Check. Because I think that sometimes you got to check your vibes. Sometimes you got to just chill out. Sometimes we be doing the most, be doing the most with the least.
Energy be off a little bit.
Energy be off.
Yeah.
Check your vibe. Light your candle. Put on a little Erykah Badu or light a little incense or something. Calm down. Calm down. It ain't that serious. But last but not least, I also have what I call it's the affirmation cards. They're affirmation cards, and it's the women's affirmation cards. They're beautiful. They actually show visions of African American women. And people say, why? I don't know if you can, let me turn it. There you go. It's visions of African American women. Why African American women? Because we are beautiful. And I want people to know that we are forces in this world. And why not show us? I never see an affirmation card that just featured us.
Right.
It just had affirmations just for us. So I wanted to be sure to feature us. I wanted to be sure to highlight us. And then I have pregnancy affirmation cards too, because I've been pregnant twice. And when you're pregnant, of course, Black women, we don't always receive the same health care in the United States of America. And I mean, it's the honest to goodness truth. I had my children, and my second daughter ruptured my uterus and almost died. I literally had to have 5 blood transfusions. And thank goodness to Dr. Caldreen Avery. Hey, shout out to you. She saved my life. And I tell people, if it wasn't for that African-American woman doctor who graduated from Howard, I don't think I'd be here. So she spoke affirmations over me when I got those blood transfusions. She made sure that I stayed alive. And so I have pregnancy affirmations. I have affirmations to speak over our brown women as they're going through their pregnancy, because I feel like that what you give to yourself, you're also giving to your living fetus. So the last one I've got to tell you is a gift for you. Because as I tell people, I absolutely love Black men. I love Black men. My babies came from Black men. So my father is a Black man. And I think that Black men are overlooked. I think they're not seen. I think their feelings are not heard. I think people feel like that in order to be a Black man, you have to be strong, and you have to do all these things, and you can't cry, and you can't hurt, and you can't feel disappointment. And I think that's a lie. And so what I have...
You got to bark like Rick Ross all day.
Right. I mean, and so if you show any emotion, now what do they say? They say you sus?
Soft.
Yeah, you soft, you
lame,
sus.
whatever.
And I'm thinking to myself, when did showing your emotions become such a bad thing?
Right.
So we can't be human? I mean, I think that's ridiculous. So I have what I call the King series. I call it the Empowerment series. The Empowerment series. And I'm gifting this to you. It's the King series. On every single card is an affirmation featuring beautiful brown and black men. And I tell any women, buy this for the man in your life. Show him every day that you're speaking life into him. That when he goes out into this world and the world is not necessarily the nicest to him and doesn't see him and sees him as a super predator, as they tried to say back in the day, or they see him as a thug, that you see him as the king that he is. Speak life into him.
I like that.
And shout out to my brothers and my nephew. Because my brother was, to be honest, one of my brother's name is MJ. He is actually a recording artist in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I tell everybody that he was one of the greater impacts for me to create these cards. I realized that what my brother's going to face in this world is not what I'm going to face. And I want to be able to speak life into him and to anybody who looks like him for the rest of my life. So yeah, shout out to my brother.
MJ.
He's doing some amazing work. I'm going to have to give his IG and stuff, y'all, because his music is it. I'm telling you right now. Not just because he's my brother.
I got to get him on the podcast whenever he this way.
You got to get him on a podcast.
Yeah.
You got him to get it a freestyle because he's mean with it. But my family's super talented, though. We came from the projects. We're all super talented. My older sister, she's done some amazing work. She was actually almost a nurse, but she decided to follow her passion, and she's gone into social work. My other sister, she actually owns her own food truck. Shout out to her. And there's so many different passions that we've had. My baby sister, she was always very passionate about people, places, and things, and she's still finding herself, but she's going to find it.
That's cool.
She's going to get it right. So out of those projects came something pretty amazing.
Yeah, I see. Everybody doing their thing, got a purpose,
Everybody's
thriving.
doing their thing, thriving.
I like it.
We're in pursuit.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, dang, boy, I think the world needed this one today.
Well, thank you.
For sure. So you got anything else you would like to tell the people, like words of encouragement? Anything
Yes.
before we wrap up?
To give you guys a little bit more about me, I'm gonna tell you how I got to this place. Okay, how did I get to positivity has a purpose? Why did I know it had a purpose? I was born I had epilepsy when I was born. I came out of my mother having a grand mal seizure, so I had seizures probably until I was 12 or 13 years old. I was on a medicine called phenobarbital and Dilantin. We now know that it's like a toxic kind of combination. They don't give it to anybody anymore. It makes you a zombie. So they had me in classes with kids who had mental retardation and Down syndrome because they thought I was mentally not capable. Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting in those classes and thinking, wow, these children were powerful. Because I think that I think they're handy-capable. I don't think they're handicapped, right? So I remember sitting in class and knowing they were powerful, but knowing that I was different too. And knowing that I had to not take that medication and see what was going to happen to me. So I remember being 12 years old and stopping to take the medication, and all my thoughts started to flood in. And I realized, wait a minute, maybe I only take this medication right now. I think I'm going to risk it. But, I've had health complications my whole life, and I really did do well after coming off the medication. I talked to my mom, and she wasn't convinced that I should be off the medication, but finally I told her, Mom, you got to give me something more mild because my thoughts were not coming precisely. Once I got off the medication, they moved me into regular classes, and I started to excel. And I clear into my 30s. I think life was going good. I'm running. I'm in college and doing wonderful things, and I had a brain aneurysm.
Oh.
I had a brain aneurysm on a Monday. On a Tuesday, I had a stroke. On Wednesday, I had a stroke. On Thursday, I had a stroke. God. So I had a brain aneurysm followed by 3 strokes back to back. And I was paralyzed on my right side, debilitating headaches. And the doctor told me I had a 5% chance for life. I remember laying in that bed and thinking that my soul felt so strong, but the doctors were telling me that I was done. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, there's no way. Is this what death feels like? Death feels this strong? Like death feels this powerful? And I remember thinking to myself, if I can get up out this bed, if I get out of this bed, I'm not going to waste another moment. I had maximized my life at that point, but I was like, I'm going to go into hyperdrive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take this thing that I have within me, and I'm going to shine it for the whole world to see. And I was blessed. As you see, no lasting effects of an aneurysm. And shout out to my aneurysm survivors. Many of them still have paralysis and are struggling on a daily basis. I'm now able to give a whole presentation without note cards anymore. I'm able to remember phone numbers, no paralysis anymore, as you see on my right side. So I have been completely healed, and I'm blessed for that. But I tell people it was those challenges when I had a broke jaw because my ex-husband broke my jaw. And when I was sitting as a kid and wondering why is this happening to me, that I dug deep. And I knew there was something that God put in me. There was an extra piece of sun that he put inside my heart that nobody could take from me.
Right.
And I kept holding that piece of sun no matter where I went, no matter what I did, no matter whether it was an aneurysm or my uterus rupturing when I had my kid and had to have all those blood transfusions, whether I was divorced or whether I was single, or whether I was in the desert, or whether I was in paradise. I knew that piece of sun was something I could hold on to. And there's a piece of sun inside of you. There's a piece of sun inside of you. There's a dream inside of you that can grow if you allow it to. I welcome you to reach out to me, whether it's on IG, Facebook, go to www.positivityhasapurpose. Just shoot me a message and say, hey, Coach T, I need you, and I'm there for you. I tell people I charge a fee for my services, but I believe that this is hard work too.
Yeah.
And if someone needs me, I'm going to answer the call.
Right.
Finances will come later once we get you where you need to be. There's a certain level that I know, it comes to it because people don't value what you get for free to a certain extent. So once we get into the real work, it will come with a fee, and I'm going to let you know that right now because Dr. TDJ got to eat. But if you need me, I'm there for you. Okay. Sure. I have a different level of belief, a different level of love, a different level of care for my people. And I truly believe that if we know better, we can do better. And you can be what you can see.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the close.
That's the close. Positive is purpose. Protect your heart, protect your peace at all times. And y'all, come on now. Have a great day on purpose.
Yeah.
Mind your business. Stop being messy. And being messy ain't cute. And ladies, it's okay to be feminine. It's okay to be feminine. You ain't got to be a man. Actually, you're not a man, actually. I'm going to put out there. These women going to eat me up in these comments. Be like, what you mean? I'm strong, too. Stronger than most. But at the end of the day, I am waiting with bated breath for that man to walk into a room and say, you are exactly what I've been waiting on. I'm waiting on that. So I'm always in my soft period.
I heard that.
I'm always in my soft period, but I'm a woman, too.
Right.
And so some women say, I don't need a man. I mean, okay, you can say that. Financially, maybe you don't. But, honey, this heart want one. So, all of you, hey, how you doing? Dr. TDJ's outside. Not in.
I heard that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I want people to know positivity is not a one-trick pony. It applies to everything that you do in your life.
Right. Everything.
And I believe, when I close my eyes at night, I see the arenas. I see the house. I see the car, which is going to be a Range Rover, so you guys know.
Just letting it, yeah.
I see it. I see my children running around, and I have a dog, Banner, who is my pride and joy. He's a pity boy, and I see him running all around. I see all my family and friends and those who I love, those people who have supported me, like my man right here, in the backyard, having a good time. We in the pool. Look, tearing up people's good neighborhood up, honey, because we're going to try to slide all up in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
I see all of us just smiling and being so beautiful.
That's what I'm talking about.
And talking about the journey. That's what I see. This life is meant to be shared. And my goal, my journey to an arena is not going to be just my own. I really want to be a shining light to show people that what you can do when you put your mind to it.
Right. But look, I appreciate you. And I can't wait till the next time. I don't know when that'll be because you going to be on tour or something.
I'm coming back.
But yeah, we're going to do it again soon. And
but listen, when I hit that first arena, right? This has to be the first stop. This has to be. When I book that first arena, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you better be on this channel. Because he gets the exclusive, not ABC. He does.
That's what I'm talking about.
He does, okay? So, yeah, let's go.
All right, y'all. We out of here. I appreciate y'all. And it's up.